Hi, Skye King here, and we're in Vegas at the Paris Hotel at the M2 Wealth Conference, and I'm sitting here with Andrew Cass, and it's been quite an event, day two.
Day two.
And these days have been so packed with incredible speakers. And somebody had asked me recently, why am I going to a wealth conference, and what will I be getting out of it? Are you just talking about money? And we're talking about a lot more than money. And I'd like to ask you personally, when did you first come into Wealth Masters?
2006. So
Okay, and how did you come in?
I'm exactly 3 years here now.
Mm-hmm.
How did I come in? I went to, just like you, I went to an M2 Wealth Conference in 2006 in Arizona. My first one. Was introduced to the business by Mike Dillard, who a lot of people know,
Yep.
A good friend of mine, and got here and really realized that, and you know that my background, or for the folks that don't know, 10 years in the financial services
Yep.
industry. Went to a lot of different conferences and events and didn't realize there was a real private side of how money worked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we learned about here. You got that probably in the 2 days you've been here.
Yes.
Some of the strategies that are unconventional, alternative. I like to say that they're the 2% strategies. 98% of
Yes.
the population operates one way, which clearly is not the right way, and 2% operates in a way where recession, depression doesn't matter. They're positioned properly. That's what I got out of Wealth Masters. That's why I've been here for 3 years.
Okay, and for some of you who are watching this, the system that's been created, we're learning about how it was created, why it was created.
Federal
and,
Reserve,
Yeah, the Federal Reserve.
money supply,
Yeah.
right?
World Bank.
Commodities, natural resources, the world banking system. This is stuff that's never talked about in school and rarely talked about on Wall Street.
And especially even if you go to university, it's not there for you to
It's
be
almost
privy to.
it's almost like it's intentional, right? It's like,
Yes.
They teach you about civil wars and they teach you about algebra and arithmetic, things you'd never use in the real world, but nothing on money, nothing on currency, nothing on the Federal Reserve, nothing on monetary
Investments.
policy, nothing on investment, nothing on any of that. It's when you learn this side, it almost becomes concerning that that doesn't happen, right?
Yes, and I find too that it's so much about personal empowerment. So the more educated you are about the system in which you live in, it really allows you to make conscious choice and decision, which empowers you to make choices for your future that are really in alignment to what that future is for yourself and for your family. And as we can see around us, that is clearly not what has happened in the society. And Andrew, I'd just like to ask about, why is it that you are so inspired with what you do here at Wealth Masters?
A lot of the reason is because of what I just said, is because the word is empower, by the way.
Yeah.
I like that word. The word is when you can empower yourself first. You can't empower someone unless you can empower yourself first.
Absolutely.
It's one of those things where if you want to contribute to society or contribute to others, you need to contribute to yourself first. So the beautiful thing about what we're doing here is when you create the awareness to these topics we talk about, and you put education, awareness in place, then you can start to change. And then when you start to change, then you can help others change.
Absolutely.
And people who don't change with the changes in the next few years are in a lot of trouble. It's I always use this analogy, Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump's book that they wrote in 2006, Why We Want You to Be Rich. And one of Robert Kiyosaki's advisors is here,
Yep.
and he said the same thing today. You're either going
Just
to be
listen to
really
him.
rich or really poor one day. The
Yep.
middle class is going away.
Yep.
So if you just keep doing what you've done to get to where you are, you might not be around in a few years. So if you don't move to learning what we consider elite strategies that are designed for this emerging new economy, you might not be around. And that's why I'm passionate about what I do, because I've been able to empower myself to make really sound financial changes. Now I can move into a marketing platform and have others do the same and show others how to do the same. And that's why we're in the room, 500 people at this event.
Yeah.
We'll be at 1,000 soon, and it's people are open-minded to this message for the first time ever, because they realize Wall Street's broken, the government's broken.
Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve,
is
if you really go
just
down that hole, which we did, you
Yeah.
realize that is a true cartel.
Yes.
I mean, we won't get into all that here, but that's kind of the point.
But it's good. It's good to
It's
share
good
the
to-
information to a point to allow you to understand that what is happening is
Scary.
that it is what it's supposed to happen. It's all in alignment to what is,
It is what it is.
coming up.
Yeah. It is what it
So
is.
it works. Yet the thing is, if you haven't educated yourself or been aware of why it's happening or how it will impact you, that's when you find yourself in debt, going bankrupt, and being homeless.
Wondering
and
why there's no opportunity for you, but yet
Yeah.
you're not looking, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And to find an avenue where you can really learn about your responsibility about money, because to be able to respond to money in life allows you, again, that personal empowerment to respond to life around you in an effective manner that really just, for me, inspires me to inspire other people and gives me that real intense spark.
And you don't have to want to make a lot of money. You don't have to. I think that sometimes when people hear about what we do, they think of our name, Wealth Masters International, and people naturally assume wealth means money. Wealth doesn't just mean money. It does mean money to a degree, but wealth is about living a life on your terms, designing a life by you, not by someone else, associating with people who create a feeling of abundance around you, great relationships. As you can see here, there's lifelong friends here. There's even a few personal relationships that I noticed that got started here, so it's pretty neat. So that's really wealth. Wealth is threefold. It's money, it's personal growth, and it's your health, and it's who you associate with. So that's really the neat part about this. And, that's why the message resonates like it does, because it's not just about money. And when people get in here and they realize it's not just about money, and they realize that they do have choices and that they can take control and that they can empower themselves, that's when they change. I'm really concerned for a lot of the baby boomer generation mainly, that thinks that things are just going to applying old economy strategies to the new economy. That's how I term it. So that's concerning. And like you said, money is knowledge. Money is power. Anybody who decides, I don't want to make a lot of money, so therefore I won't learn about money, well then why do you get up every day and go to work if money's not important to you? You have to understand money or you don't get to make it. And I think that you're more valuable to society if you have more money to give, donate, promote, whatever it is that you do.
Yes.
You can't do a whole lot of good broke.
No, you can't.
I know sometimes that's hard to hear. I mean, I don't say that to sound shallow, but the reality is you're probably going to be more valuable to who you want to be more valuable to if you have some financial resources to do that. So that's what we teach.
And the next question is kind of rolling into that. I know that a lot of people here at Wealth Masters don't just get into learning about wealth for themselves. A lot of people here want to educate themselves because they want to do good in the world for other people who are not educated, who do not have the financial backing or even the concept of knowing what to do in a humanitarian way. And what are you passionate about? And placing your own wealth into anything that inspires you in service to others.
Personal question or us as a company?
Well, you personally.
Me personally, I'm passionate about, I'm a big inspirer of people. I like to inspire people. And I oftentimes, my strong point is inspiring people with education on money and business development. And it's just my strong point. It's just something I've always been passionate about. So I have a passion in inspiring people about money and finance.
Okay.
You know that I was...
You do this monthly?
Yeah.
Dan Kennedy?
I'm one of the Dan Kennedy certified business advisors. So on a business development grassroots level, that's one of my passions. That's more from a marketing standpoint. But 10 years in the financial services industry, right, before getting into the direct sales industry, 3 years with Wealth Masters, I was doing it more on the sales side, meaning I was selling investments, selling mutual funds, selling stocks. Now it's education, so somebody can go out and make their own decisions. So it becomes a much more valuable means of doing business versus just selling securities because they look good that day. And this is one of the issues with that industry is that there's a lot of conflicts of interest, a lot of politics. There's a lot of pushing of product that doesn't really necessarily fit that person. It's a very cookie cutter. It's Robert Kiyosaki calls it fast food financial planning, where it's heavily advertised, cheap and quick. That's like food, not money, and that's what happens out there.
It's not educated too,
It's not education. So when I moved to this phase of the financial services world, if you will, that's what inspires me, is that I now get to inspire. Where before I didn't really inspire anybody, I was just sold to them. Right? It's a big difference. So that's I guess a long answer to a short question.